We gotta have some words about Goodra? What do you mean? Goodra's terrible. There's no way Goodra's good in Show 6.
A few moments later.
My team is essentially Lao Jeff's team from... Oh my gosh, there's no way. What are the odds of this? Alright, well, I know I lose this matchup. Okay. I don't mind if they dump energy here. I know shield this. Don't tell me it's Draco. Oh my gosh. Well, like I said, I didn't say it doesn't work in GBL. I just said it doesn't work in Show 6. Or Wiggly than the other way around, because you just have a lot more charge attack pressure. They had to like really like shield through a lot of stuff to do it. Oh my gosh, another Goodra? Is this the same person? No, it's not. Oh, this is funny. All right. Okay, we caught our Aqua Tail. Nice. All right, well, at least it's not Draco this time. Redemption. Let's see if we can pull it off. Or Goodra's just too broken. One. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Might have not been. Can I get to it? No, I can't. Alright. Might have been a bad call then on my end. Okay. The play is... Hopefully they have Draco. Oh my gosh, I'm about to lose to another Goodra. This is not real. I can't beat the Goodra. Look. It's I can't beat the Goodra. You're smiling. Look, like I said, it's good in GBL. I just don't think it's good in Show 6. Hey everyone, I hope the end of the season is treating you well. I have one last Great League team that I decided to run this week, and it's been really fun to play. It's honestly been really good for me, and it does involve Goodra, which I definitely underestimated. Definitely in Show 6, I think it's not the best. But even in GBL, I didn't think it was that good compared to the other dragons, but it actually is a lot better than I expected. I know my friend and co-caster Tua Butters was running Draco Meteor on his Goodra, but I decided to run Power Whip in mine just for a little bit better coverage into the fairies and just some better coverage into the waters around. And so the team I ran was a Charge Bug with Goodra and Manabuzz, and it was very, very solid for me. Right off the bat, I'm going to show you my first two sets I ran with this team, and it kicked off to a fantastic start. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. So like I said, this is my first battles with this team. I just ran it pretty much cold, no practice, just see how it goes. And so some of my plays may not be the best, just keep that in mind. I think my elo is around the 3200s mark, I think. So definitely it's pretty solid players I'm facing. So we face a Shadow Dragonite lead. Again, pretty neutral matchup, but the main point of this team is that you want to try to draw any fairies if you can. Maybe some steel types as well, if possible, because they're going to be what really counters the Manabuzz in the back. And so my opponent is going to throw the Psycho Boost. At this point, I don't really need Switch Advantage, so I'd rather get a little bit extra energy on my Manabuzz. Has a lot of neutral play into the Dragonite as well, and we, force him to throw a Psycho Boost that does very little. Shadow Feraligatr, not really the best counter for Manabuzz either, so I'm in a pretty positive matchup either way. We do land a Dark Pulse, and I think I'm going to Shield, yeah. This is going to do a lot of damage, and I could potentially get off a move against, grab a shield from the Dragonite, and at that point we'll be in a good spot. We do grab it with the X-Scissor, and I get the full Volt Switch down, so really good for me, and my opponent's just going to quit out. So, like I said, first battle, going to battle number 2 here with a team, and we face off against Shadow Magnezone. Pretty awkward matchup overall. It's pretty strong into the whole team to a degree. But at the same time, it's kind of a funky matchup into the Charge Bug because I'm resisting everything, but Wild Charge just hurts a lot. At the same time, they're really frail, so all these resisted X-Scissors are pretty good for me as well. And the whole name of the game, like I said, is you want to draw their fairies if possible. We do get to another move though, and they end up catching on Gligar. So I think the better play for me probably at that point is to swap out, just because I resist the Wild Charge on the Goodra, and then they're pretty much in Dark Pulse range. But I at least force them to swap, so it's not a terrible position for me, because one Dark Pulse should be enough to take out the Magnezone. I'm going to throw Aerial Ace first, just because I know that I had to throw at least one anyway. And I'm just trying to see if my next move has to be Dark Pulse, or I could throw an Aerial Ace instead. You can see I'm overfarming by quite a bit. This gets a little precarious, but and a really great snipe from my opponent there too, expecting me to throw one more Snarl. So that was really bad, because I got taken out with pretty much almost 100 energy at that point. So not good at all for my Mana Buzz. And we still don't know what their last Pokemon is. Ends up being a Cresselia. I think I go for a catch. I don't actually end up getting the catch off, but we do get the X-Scissor off. However, if I still had the Mana Buzz around, I threw that entry at the Magnezone, it would be a very different story. Draco Meteor here would have been nice too, but overall I think Power Whip is a little better coverage. Just a little bit short on the damage. So, a big misplay by me, but a really great play by my opponent right there. However, you know, any misplays, any loss attribute to misplays is a good sign in my opinion. I was goofing off right here. You don't want to throw Discharge. You want to throw X-Scissor. But I think, I don't know what I was thinking right there. Maybe I got confused with Annihilape for a second. Yeah, X-Scissor is just better for neutral damage. Obviously, Annihilape, you want to throw the X-Scissor or other fighters, because the X-Scissor is resisted. That being said, I don't know. Maybe my opponent thinks I have Crunch Discharge. Could be a possibility, I guess. Or they just think I'm stupid. Could be both. But that being said, we do have the Trevenant, and we're in a pretty good position here, because I go for a very aggressive farm down with the Vigoroth. Sorry, with the Mana Buzz. I'm getting all my words confused today. We get the full Snarl down. Pretty good, especially if they come in Vigoroth. I have a ton of energy at my disposal. And if they shield, I have another move ready. Ends up being a Lantern. So a little bit awkward position for me for sure, because I don't have the best of matchups here. They still have 2 shields as well. So I really need to start grabbing these shields if I want to win. And we still have a full health Charge Bug, or nearly full health at this point. It's not really worth me shielding. It's probably just a Surf, but Dark Pulse, not the harder hitting move. I just need to get to pretty much 2 X-Scissor. The Volt Switch damage is going to be pretty impactful. So let's see if we get that off or not. We do have to shield this one, of course. And do we get both X-Scissor off? More importantly, does the X-Scissor put it in Volt Switch range? We can shield the first one. We get another one off. Hopefully this takes them out. If not, they might be 1 Volt Switch away. And they are. So we managed to come out with the victory despite me throwing a very stupid Discharge at the Vigoroth. All right. Perfect. Very next game, we get another Vigoroth. We get to just run it back, but a little bit better. And so this time, I do correctly throw the X-Scissor. Opponent shields. I'm going to come in Goodra. Again, the whole name of the game is draw out the fairies, right? Because if they have a Wigglytuff, a Zoomer in the back, Zoomer's not terrible, but Wigglytuff, Shadow Lone Ninetales, you just have so little play. So you need to draw out any potential fairies. But yeah. Alright, so they come in. Cresselia, I mean, not really a fairy, but does have the Moonblast coverage. And I'm going to just let this go at this point. Just put everything on the line for this Mana Buzz. And also Moonblast would do a little bit less damage than a Rock Slide would. So I figure I save the shield for Rock Slide. I guess at this point I'm in Body Slam range. So probably not the smartest idea anyway. We do force a Body Slam here. So we get the X's off. Let's see if they shield or not. And they don't, but they come in Shadow Sableye. Pretty good for me. Pretty solid matchup. However, I do have to shield the Power Gem. So I'm pretty much at max energy at this point. So I'm going to just throw another point in optimizing at that point. Yeah, they're quite low on health. But yeah, Power Gem is going to do more damage than Rock Slide, I believe, from a Shadow Sableye. Both are non-stab, but might be able to get the full farm down here. I think that's my win condition for sure. Let's see if we pull it off or not. And they actually come in Vigoroth instead. So this is actually pretty good for me. I could probably swap to Charge Bug, or maybe I just go for the Snarl down. This is probably a little bit better because they can't get to 2 back-to-back foul play at this point. And yeah, now we come in Charge Bug and we finish it off. So back-to-back Vigoroth lead, no problem. Catching a fantastic lead here with the Empoleon in the lead. They stay in, which is really giving me a sign that they're super weak to Charge Bug in some way, shape, or form. They shield the first move. I'm going to shield as well. Obviously, this is a fantastic matchup for us, but they throw a Drill Peck for some reason. Hydro Cannon is definitely the move you want to throw for neutral because they're both neutral. But yeah, I can't imagine them not running anything but Hydro Cannon, but maybe they just, I don't know. They goofed too. I mean, I threw a Discharge at Vigoroth earlier, so what's to say they didn't do something similar? This is a little bit awkward of a position, but I didn't want to be charmed down because then they just come out with even more energy, so that's not good for me. So I'm just going to come in with the Mana Buzz right away, and we get the full Snarl down pretty much. I have very little health at this point in time, though. And then I throw the Aerial Ace at the Tropius. I thought this was going to be Empoleon, so I almost threw the Dark Pulse, but glad I stopped myself. And this is kind of a weird matchup because we only have resisted attacks for this Tropius, and you can see a fantastic catch by me. I don't know if I was counting or not. I can't really recall this matchup, but could have just been going with the force there, I gotta say. But we don't have Draco Meteor. Draco Meteor will help out here. We're just going to go Aqua Tail. It's going to be single resisted rather than double resisted Power Whip. So, or is that triple resisted? It's flying double resist? I don't know. Either way, you don't want to throw the Power Whip. Aqua Tail is going to be more energy efficient and better here, and we're able to finish off the Tropius. All right, so right off the bat, 4 in 1 set, pretty good. And you know, the match against the Magnezone that I lost against, I could have easily won it if I just played it a little bit better, but well played by my opponents. But again, misplay on my end means that you could easily do even better than me. All right, we go against the Shadow Charizard. Kind of a weird situation because I don't really want this on any of my back-end Pokemon. You can see the Volt Switch damage really adding up. And I'm trying to potentially catch a Blast Burn or catch Dragon Claw. I don't know. I guess I catch some of the energy either way. But Charge Bug should be pretty solid into whatever's in their back line. They come in Annihilape. And they end up shielding. I get off a Aerial Ace as well. Hopefully I survive this. Oh, there's only an Ice Punch, so not quite. But we have the Charge Bug still. And Ice Punch is a little bit hard to bait with. Let's see what they go with here. I'm going to just let this go. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let this go and come in Goodra. I still have the Charge Bug in case they have a Skarmory in the back or something else just weak to it. Let's see what they have in the back. It ends up being a Whiscash. Fantastic catch by my opponent to catch the Power Whip. I'm going to undercharge it, but it doesn't really do too much here. That being said, we're just going to let this go because Whiscash X's actually does quite a bit of damage. And I shield this one. I might just shield this one, try to get the Power Whip, yeah. And my opponent is going to quit out right here. Yeah, because they had to dump all the energy at that point, and I have the X's or Banks. So, great catch though, but kind of a tougher team composition for them. We have the Charge Bug and the Feraligatr lead. Kind of similar to the Empoleon lead. They're staying in for whatever reason, so makes me think that they're pretty weak to this in the back end. I'm going to throw the X's or Baits. And we go for another X's. This ends up being on Charge Attack priority, but not the best for me. However, I do get the X's off. Probably should have just overfarmed a little bit. You can see me undercharging a little bit here. And then they swap into their Guzzlord. It's pretty good for me overall. I have the Mana Buzz, and they let the X's go, surprisingly. I was actually kind of shocked by that. So that's really good because it's not the easiest matchup for Mana Buzz because you're just doing resisted Snarl damage. And Aerial Ace is kind of underwhelming. But yeah, because they let the X's go. They're in Snarl range. We come out with a little bit of energy. Feraligatr is pretty low as well. And they have a Shadow Victreebel in the back, which is kind of an interesting combination of Pokemon. But that's not going to do very well into my team. And they're going to quit out. Annihilape lead. Going to be an interesting one for sure. Generally speaking, pretty positive for the Charge Bug. But Shadow Ball does do quite a bit of damage. This is not like Poliwrath where you're actually doing super effective damage all the way throughout. So a little bit harder for Charge Bug, but not too bad. I'm going to shield the potential Shadow Ball, especially because they're staying in here. I assume they're kind of weak to it. And then I go in for the X-Scissor. Let's see what they do here. They end up throwing another move. I think I miscounted here because this oh, no, it is Shadow Ball. Okay, so I'm thinking of a different match, I guess. They come in with the Lantern. This is interesting. I'm thinking maybe they have a Skarmory in the back. Seems like a likely scenario because Lantern's not amazing to Charge Bug either, so Skarmory would make a lot of sense. But I don't really want to swap out because I can't really get the Goodra on this, and I don't really want to swap Mana Buzz into it. So if it's a Skarmory, they have to at least debuff themselves to take out my Mana Buzz. And yeah, it is a Skarmory in the back. Makes a lot of sense based on how they played out this match. But we're in a pretty good spot. As you can see, Mana Buzz, pretty thick. I know I had a YouTube comment on my stream yesterday. I was streaming some of my battles. So I'm going to try to stream more battles to my public YouTube channel moving forward as well. And they're like, man, do you always have Mana Buzz on every single team? And the question is, why wouldn't you? Do you see how bulky this thing is? It's nutty. All right, we get to the Aqua Tail at Charge Attack priority, which is pretty nice. And just happens to be enough to take out the Skarmory. And we can finish it off with a Dragon Breath. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering at this point, how the heck do you beat Carbink or Bastion? Whole team loses to it. Well, I don't know if this is the match or not, but there's going to be one match with a Bastion on it, and I find a way. But there's no footage of me facing Carbink in this specific video, in these first two sets, but I did face Carbink later on in a future set, and I was able to beat it as well. You should kind of try to muscle through with Goodra if you can. That's pretty much your only win con. All right. We're in a pretty good spot right now because Victreebel doesn't really want to come into the Victreebel, or sorry, into the Mana Buzz. And here's the Bastion. So as expected, we do have a Bastion here. And we could chip it down a little bit. We're on even shield, so this is a pretty bad situation for me, all things considered. How do I play this out? Yeah, I just get a little chip damage to the airways. It's not really enough to force a shield from my opponent by any means, but it's better damage than nothing. All right, so we have the Goodra on it, which is what we want to be, but they have quite a bit of energy on this Bastion. And now they come in with the Shadow Victreebel. I'm going to charge up to double Aqua Tail, and then now swap over to my Charger Bug. Can I Volt Switch this down? That's a real question. They look like they want to farm a little extra, so that's why they decided to choose not to throw anything, which makes sense because they know I have double Aqua Tail. So they need to get to one Stone Edge for sure to take me out. But we're going to maximize our damage here a little bit, and I pretty much threw because I had the X-Scissor and I didn't throw it. I was going for the discharge. But I pretty much could have won the game right then and there. So now we have to bank on me surviving a Stone Edge. But Goodra pretty thick with it and is able to survive. So correcting my misplace a little bit from the bulk of Goodra. And that's why typically if you play bulkier teams, you have a lot more room for error. And something I often preach. All right, Shadow or non-Shadow Whiscash safe swap. Obviously I have a fantastic lead matchup. So I'm going to swap out here and then bring in my Goodra at this point. I just want to make this matchup a surefire way of me maintaining alignment. So we're going to tank 2 Mud Bombs, no problem, especially from the non-Shadow Whiscash. Shadow Whiscash is going to be a little bit harder to survive the double Mud Bomb, but you can see with the X-Scissor, much easier to maintain alignment. And they actually have a Whimsicott. Surprising for sure. But it is actually quite the core breaker for my team. Whimsicott actually beats Charge Bug head-to-head as well. So this thing actually beats, theoretically, my whole team. But one Pokemon can only do so much. So I thought they were going to bait, but they didn't. They went straight for the Moonblast. And what did I do here? I let it go as well. Because I thought they were going to bait, but they still did not bait. So this person's just not baiting at all. But the Mantine doesn't have too much play into me, especially because they're energy dry. So at this point, I just need to take out the Whimsicott and I should be in a good spot. Now they're baiting me, which makes sense because I got shield something, right? Moonblast does quite a bit of damage. That being said, I think, do I pause here? Yeah, I pause a little bit just to ensure that they don't catch on the Mantine. We take out the Whimsicott. At this point, we're in a good spot. Double super effective. Discharge is going to connect on the Mantine, and we take it out, and we win right there. And second sets, we go 5-0. I went 4-1 the first one. Second set, 5-0 right away. Almost back to 3300s. And yeah, like I said, first 2 sets I ran with this team, and it worked fantastic for me. So definitely give it a shot if you're trying to find a good team and great league to close out with. Also, if you're not aware, for the new Go Battle League season, none of the implemented changes with like the Spark nerf, the Scald nerf, the C-Bomb buff, all that stuff, those won't play into effect until June 3rd. So for the first couple days of Go Battle League for next season, you could also play this team. I mean, technically speaking, nothing on this team is actually getting nerfed or touched, but it's giving the same exact meta. So you have even more days of playing this team in this current meta. Best of luck if you are making that final push. I have a new YouTube series dropping tomorrow, so be on the lookout for it. But it's called Why Am I Not Climbing? It's a great way for people to submit footage to me, for me to review and help you out on getting to that next level and figuring out what are some things that you could correct within your own gameplay to reach it. I'll also be sharing how to submit your own footage to me for me to review in my next video, so be on the lookout. But as always, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and maybe when I go live on live stream. And I'll catch you all later. Peace.